The Europa League was back this Thursday night with a full round of fixtures for match day 2. Let's dive in with the 5 things that we learned, the 5 highlight fixtures of the secondary tier of European competition. And we're going to start at Celtic Park for one of the early kickoffs. Celtic taking on Braga of Portugal. This was always going to be a difficult game. Braga are a pretty decent side in European competition, but of course Celtic were no disgraces to themselves last season in the Champions League, but that was last season. This is this season. They got a draw in their opening game of the Europa League against Red Star Belgrade away from home, but they were absolutely humiliated at home by the Portuguese side Braga. Horta and Martinez with the goals in this game, and they deserved it. They absolutely deserved it. Celtic had a decent amount of the ball in this one, but didn't really create that much with it. Braga were very effective with their chances and took them much more clinically than what Celtic did, deservedly losing that game, Celtic, with that one. That is a huge blow for them, hoping to, well, I mean, they're not going to get automatic qualification. They're probably going to go into the playoffs at best at this rate, but, you know, it could always be worse, guys. It could be Rangers. Don't worry, we'll talk about them later in this one. But let's move on to the 8 o'clock fixture. And let's head to the Netherlands next for Feyenoord against Aston Villa. This was always going to be a difficult game for Villa, but they actually did really well here. Villa seemed to finally be kicking into gear this season. A solid 2-0 victory away from home. Buendia and John McGinn with the goals in this one. Feyenoord had the lion's share of the opportunities in this one, but they were just really poor in taking them, were the Eredivisie leaders. Villa had a good amount of the ball despite being away from home as well, and it really silenced the De Kuip atmosphere with those 2 goals. That's a really fantastic victory for them. It's 2 wins out of 2 for them early on in the Europa League. Just one of a few sides able to do that so far. So that should not be underestimated. That is a really good victory, and that should hopefully carry them forward into the Premier League on Sunday with a bit more momentum as well. Also kicking off at 8 PM was the other English side in this one. And yeah, Nottingham Forest, it didn't go so well for them. You know, it seemed like it was written in the stars that Ange would finally get his first win as Nottingham Forest boss, and he didn't. He didn't, and you know, they were really bad in this one. They were really, I mean, they had a lot of the ball, they made a lot of chances, but they just didn't take them. They were never ahead in this one. Diao getting the opening goal for Midtjylland, who, by the way, are not a bad side. They're not a bad side at all, the Danish side. They're not, but Forest should be beating them at home. You know, they really should be. But Diao getting the opening goal for Midtjylland. Dalin Doi got one back pretty quickly. Pretty quick response from Nottingham Forest with that one. But then Sorensen just went up the other end and scored again. It's typical Ange ball, really. You know, you're going to score a lot of goals, but you're going to concede a lot as well. And then Andreasen just ended the game with a few minutes to go. Chris Wood came on, got a penalty very late on. Seemed as though he might be able to get something, but no, in the end, not so much. And the Forest fans have turned on Ange. They want him out. They want him gone. They were singing to their own manager. You're getting sacked in the morning. How many games has he had? 6, 7? I know he's not won any, but wow, the Tricky Trees fans really coming unstuck with that one. They are rattled, it's fair to say. And they want him gone. Forest fans, let us know in the comments below. Should Ange be sacked? I never thought I'd be asking that this early, but here we are. But yeah, speaking of sacking, Russell Martin somehow still has his job. Another loss for Rangers on the board. Good job by them. Only by 1 goal this time, away from home. Not too bad by their standards. But Horvat and Kitchvili, I think they say his name, for Stern Graz, giving them a 2-0 lead heading into half-time. Rangers got one back. Jedi Guasama with the goal back for Rangers on that one. I mean, it's not a terrible result by Rangers standards these days, but they've got to be getting points on the board, and that's 2 losses out of 2 in the Europa League. I mean, they're really going to struggle to even get in the playoffs at this rate, of course. They had a lot of the ball, didn't do anything with it, really, for the most part. Typical Russell Martin football. Last one I want to cover here, guys, just a bit of a surprise. I'd say it's a bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. FC Basel of Switzerland against Stuttgart of Germany. Stuttgart, last season, were pretty decent in the Champions League. They got some big wins. I'm sure they beat Juventus last season in the Champions League. They got some really big victories last season, and that they're in the Europa League this time around. And Basel, fair play to them. They were very clinical in this one. Xherdan Shaqiri with the 2nd goal as well. That is a name from the past. You know, Stuttgart absolutely dominating this game in terms of chances created, in terms of the ball, everything, absolutely everything. But Basel, in their home stadium, they just got the job done. A 2-0 win, a really impressive one for Basel. Seriously impressive right there. And yeah, it's looking wide open, as always, with this league format, is the Europa League. I'm really looking forward to see how it evolves. And of course, we'll be back with Matchday 3 when that does come around. But yeah, we'll see you soon for much more content on the world of football just like this, guys. Have a great day wherever you are in the world today, and we'll see you soon.